What's good? It's Postman, liveoffbeats.com. So the question I get a lot, that I've always gotten a lot from producers over the years is, Postman, should I try to sound like everybody else to sell my beats on the internet, or sell my beats period, or should I try to have my own sound? And this is a big topic of debate and discussion, because when you look on the internet and you try to sell your beats, I mean, you see that a lot of producers sound the same, the trap sound. People have Future type beat or whatever type beat, and it sounds like that, style of beat that they would use. But my opinion on this has never really changed. Is you got to understand two things. One, the difference between what you like and what people will buy. So that's the first thing. Because a lot of times producers that hit me up and say, can you check out my beat site? I'm not selling. Let's say they beats. I'm like, well, you like these beats, but artists ain't gonna buy it. They're not looking for this type of beats right now. They're not paying for this. It's not where the money at. So maybe you want to just do it and just, have your pride and your ego and, be able to say, you know what, I made some beats that's different than everybody, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, but just understand that you're not gonna motherfucking sell on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not gonna sell, period. Now, with that being said, I don't mean that you gotta be a carbon copy of everybody, because I'm a different type of believer in production. I believe that no matter what just because you make a certain style of beat or genre of beat, you as a producer is still gonna put your footprint in it. You're gonna put your voice in it, your style in it, your experiences in your music. So when you first start making beats, your first couple of years, yeah, you're gonna sound like carbon copies of producers. But as you keep practicing and developing, like I could do a trap beat, so I'm always up on what's on the charts, what's selling online. I'm always up on the newest music, and I'm always learning how to make that style of music, because what was hot when I started making beats ain't hot now. So if I keep making that style of shit, I mean, I'm never gonna go nowhere with that. The beats that I sold in 2006, they're not gonna sell today. So I gotta have a whole new catalog for what's current. Now, being current, like I said, it don't mean that I don't have my own style. It don't mean that you can't hear my signature, right? It just means that I'm gonna make the style of beats that's moving right now. So the style, but that don't mean that I'm gonna sound like Mike Will Made It. I'm gonna sound like the next producer that's had this shit on there. I'm not gonna make my beats to sound like theirs, but it's gonna be my take on what's going on right now. It's gonna be my take on trap, my take on R&B, my take on pop, right? But the elements is what you really gotta pay attention to, right? Because today it's a lot of 808s, it's a lot of big drums. The drums from 10 years ago were a lot weaker. So I'm not gonna use them same weak ass drums 10 years ago, because that's not what they're into now. Now it's about banging drums. It's about your drums swinging, percussion, things, you know what I'm saying? The percussion is very big now. Not this Congo. Back when I started making beats, it was all about congos and bongos. That's what we call percussion. Now it's just hi-hats, trap hats, and all kind of different cool little elements and haze and highs and different kind of shit going crazy in the beats, So it's different, you know what I'm saying? So I got to keep up with that, but that don't mean that I can't have my own sound. I think amateur producers, I think you really have to stop worrying about having your own sound. It's like me saying I'm gonna worry about having somebody else's voice. I could take an Obama speech right now and read the exact speech that he read, and the same writer give me the same speech, and when I say it, it's gonna sound completely different than when Obama said. Why? Because I'm me. So my voice is, even though we saying the same shit, the way that I say it is gonna be different than somebody else. That's the same thing with your music. And so a lot of producers amateur producers are worried about the wrong shit. Why are you worried about that? You got your own fingerprint. Can't nobody copy your fingerprint. So your fingerprint in your music is always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? As you develop. Now again, your first couple years, that's why this is a craft that you have to master. You understand? Like me, I was blessed enough to study under the legendary DJ Battlecat, who's a master. So what I'm saying is that you concern yourself with mastery as an amateur and as a pro, but as an amateur specifically, you need to be focused on mastering the craft, and that includes what's current, being able to make everything that's out that's current. And in the process of that, you're gonna develop your own sound. Your own sound. Like a lot of times, producers be like, yo, but this shit be trash. They be like, oh, this is my own sound. I'm like, it ain't about having your own sound that's trash. Don't worry about your own sound is naturally gonna develop through the process of practicing and making more music. It's a developmental thing. So you shouldn't be worried about that your first couple years. Then again, as time goes on and you continue to master the craft, your own sound will develop naturally in what you do. But you have to always be mastering what's out now and making beats that translate to what's out now, what artists are looking for now. Now it's a fine line. Now all the pros that's hearing what I'm saying, this ain't they know, they get what I'm saying. So if you're a pro and you've been doing it for a while, your shit is, you know what I'm saying. But this is more so for the younger producers who've been doing this maybe 2 to 3 years or less, and you still are worried about trying to be different and all that type of stuff, because different don't mean good. A lot of times that shit just whack. You guys just do what you do. Make music for you, but make music that you like, but at the same time, you got to make music that people want to buy, that artists want to buy. So it's a fine line. So yeah, you are making music for you, like I said, but at the same time, you know, because you love doing it. So you can't just force yourself to make shit you don't like. Like, it's not going to work that way. It's a feeling. I understand that. But as a music producer, I also believe you should be liking almost everything. If you don't like nothing that's out, then you're not a music producer, in my opinion. Right? You're not a music. You really don't understand the craft of music production and the gift and the talent that we have, which is we learn to appreciate everything that's out there. Don't mean that ain't no trash out there, right? Like, it's some things I just don't like. But I mean, for the most part, I can find appreciation and love for all types of music. Like, I love pop music. I love, you know what I'm saying, country, some great country music. If it's a great song, I'm like, damn, I like that song. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily a big fan of the genre, but it's some rock songs that I like. Some rock groups I say, yo, that shit dope. You know what I'm saying? Some old songs, it's just like music. You know, and to me, that's a real music producer, is when you have appreciation for music in general, and you just like good music. So at the end of the day, you gotta still make what sells, and don't worry about being different, because that's a natural progression, a natural process. It's like a rapper. You know, when Jay-Z first started rapping, he sounded like other people that was out. This till when Jay-Z used to rap back in the day. Like, before Reasonable Doubt and all that shit, just listen to the little mixtapes and shit. So if you into hip-hop like that, you know, listen to when he was rapping with Big L on that one freestyle. Big L is one of my favorite rappers. They was spitting like, kind of like how Big L, it kind of sounded like Big L, but it's money flow, but you know what I'm saying? He was doing that shit because that was hot at the time. But as he kept rapping, his natural style began to develop on its own. And then now you get Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z come out, he doesn't sound like anybody else, right? But I mean, the music was still, he still had the music sounded like what was hot at the time, right? DJ Premier and, you know, all those guys, great producers of that era, musically, but the way he rapped, it was unique to him. But it developed naturally. He didn't start off rapping like that. So what's the point? As a producer, you got to stay what's current, what's hot. Don't worry about if you got to copy other people's sound right now. As you keep making beats, as you keep learning to produce, as you keep perfecting your craft, your sound is going to naturally develop. And that's what a lot of producers don't know, because you still in the, you know, in the beginning stage, you don't realize that that's how it worked. That's how Timbaland got his sound. You know, he was on Devontae Swing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure his beats sound like that. Kanye beats sound like a lot like No ID beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these shit sounded like that. But through the process of keep working on it and keep adding tools to their toolbox, their own natural sound develop and expresses through the music. So that's what's gonna happen for you. You know, that's what happens. You know, your own natural sound. So the craft is always, you're never gonna have to worry about whether you're gonna be a carbon copy of everybody else that's out. You know what I'm saying? Initially, yeah, you are gonna sound like that, fine. But as you keep developing, your own sound is natural. Don't force your own sound. Don't try to say, I gotta find my own sound. I want my own sound, so I'm gonna just make some crazy shit that's trash. That's what I hear a lot of. It's a natural development, and a lot of people don't know that. But I've been doing this, like I said, damn, 13 years now. I've been making, no, I've been making beats before 2000. Now I made beats in 2003 when I first started making beats. I first sold them online in 2004. But that's 14 years making beats. I studied under DJ Battlecat. I first studied under him, I think, in 2011. So that was maybe 7 years into my production career when I got with Battlecat, and I got to see a real master at work. You know what I'm saying? I learned what mastery actually looks like. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't look like what we do. Mastery looks completely different, right? Mastery is something that we're all trying to attain at. Now, if you talk to him, he'll still say, like, I haven't mastered it yet, right? Because that's what happens. But when you get to see someone who's been doing this shit for 30 years, you know what I'm saying, or plus, you know, and is a legend, but not just because of records sold. I mean, you could be a top producer. I mean that you're great at the craft. So I always separate commercial success from the craft. You have a lot of producers who may have had more commercial success than Battlecat, but there ain't a lot of producers out there that master the craft and can make music like him. So I always separate that. You can have commercial success just by, you know, you got the right good business model, you got a good business strategy, you got, You know, you pop at the right time. You got the right artists behind you, right labels behind you, and you make, you know, you pop off. But that don't mean that's separate from the craft. Because there's producers that got a lot of hit records and a lot of records. I don't think they're that good at the craft. Point blank. They just had some songs with artists that were already famous, and you know, it's dope. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm saying they're whacker. I'm just saying that always separate commercial success from the craft. Because, you know, as a producer myself, I look at the craft like, yo, who's making dope shit? Like, who's just a nasty producer? You know, who's just nasty with this music? You know, and I get excited about that. I don't really care too much about the commercial success. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at, you know, Battle Cat, I mean, it's not too many people that I feel like has mastered the craft like he's mastered it. And when you get to see a master at work, you realize a lot of things. And one of the things you realize is never forced, but they stay current, and you're gonna come out in whatever it is that you do. So you don't worry about that. But you gotta make what's selling though. You gotta make the style of music that's selling. The style. You understand? If trap is selling the most, then you make some trap shit. But it could be your style, your take on trap, but it's gonna have to be trap. If pop is selling the most, then that's what's on the top of the charts. And you gotta make pop shit if that's your goal to get to the top of the charts. But it can sound like you. It don't gotta sound like nobody else. You know, it can sound like your take on that style of music. If you think that old East Coast, 1995 East Coast you making beats that sound like that, you ain't gonna make it nowhere, because ain't nobody want that shit. The consumers don't want to listen to it, artists don't want to buy it, and so you could just ask for you and your friends, I guess. So, you know, that's the difference. So I'm going on and on and on, but just don't worry about that. Just make what's hot right now, and your style will naturally develop out of that. And you'll have your own unique sound as you continue to develop. And then you can give your take on whatever it is that's hot today. That's my postmanlovebeats.com. Oh, just by the way, if you're still looking to learn how to brand yourself on top of it, so you got your own sound and all that kind of stuff, you got your beats. I got a course, Branding for Big Bucks. We got it at liveoffbeats.com. You definitely want to check it out, man. It's really gonna talk. It talks about this as well. You know, about how to create a brand to go with your sound. So if you have a nice sound, you got dope music, well, you got to create a brand that matches it and goes with it, that speaks, you know, your language, that speaks who you are, and that brand can be here 10, 20, 30 years. That's going to be generating you income, because the brand is what makes the money. Live Off Beats is a brand. It ain't Postman, right? I could stick somebody else in this shirt, and they can, as long as it say Live Off Beats, people going to listen. And people going to buy it, people going to spend money, producers are going to fuck with it, right? Because they learn to love the brand and Live Off Beats. Now, Postman has a brand too. That's me. But ultimately, it's about the Live Off Beats brand. I could stick anybody on this video, and anybody put this t-shirt on, and as long as that brand is there, people are going to trust it, follow it, and at least pay attention to it. So that's what you want to build as a brand with your music production business. And we got brands we build with our music production business as well. So we got music brands for that. And everything I do, I created a brand in. So I just want you to know, like, that's how you do it. You got to create a brand for yourself. And I created a course, because a lot of producers ask me, like, how do you create these brands? I created a lot of brands over the years, from drums to production to information, and you've seen it. You know, you've seen it, and they all stood the test of time and have had, you know, a strong following in the community. So, you know, again, Branding for Big Bucks, I just talk about all the secrets and how do we do that. It's not by accident. You don't just wake up and then a brand happens by accident. So I'm giving you the game on how to create a brand in your music production business. Like, here's the key steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do these, and you'll have a brand that's magnetic and will attract artists and attract clients and big opportunities to you. Now, if you just think you're gonna just upload some beats and then just call it Big Chicken Wang Beats, and then you just think that's just gonna do it, that's not it. Brands are very important, and you got to really put thought in, and you really got to plan out your brand before you go out here and start trying to make the big bucks. So just letting you know, it's a core. I put the link down there anyways. Gotta go. Peace out. Much love. liveoffbeats.com. Man, the music producers on the rise now, man. This is the age of the music producer. We finna start getting our credit, start getting our money. You know what I'm saying? We start getting our shine, because, you know, we've been at the bottom of the barrel of the music production industry. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, they're like, we don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? But we exist now. We out here. So love, liveoffbeats.com. Peace.